All right, so at this point, it is time for public comment. I would like to point out that the comments by any person are limited to 3 minutes. Remarks related to disciplinary actions or other matters which are or could be the subject of a grievance process, and comments which are irrelevant, repetitious, or derogatory of any person, business, or organization will be ruled out of order. The board will not take action on a concern expressed during public comments, but will direct speakers to the appropriate staff person to facilitate a response. I might just add that if you hear your public comments are being represented by someone else and you'd like to leave a written statement, you can do so at the back of the room on the table. You can leave a written statement and we will add that to our public record. So at this time,
if I might just preempt one piece of this. I know this is somewhat non-traditional, but I see a number of signs, and I know we're likely going to hear about Japanese and German, and I thought it would be helpful just to one more time sort of reiterate that we will have Japanese 1, 2, 3, and 4 next year. We will have German 2, 3, and 4, and in an interest of trying to meet the needs of students, we will offer German 1 as an online course if there are students who are interested in taking that. So I wanted the board to know that and our community to know that, so as they come up and talk, that we have that in our heads. So I know we're not allowed to have conversations afterwards. So thank you.
That's helpful, and that may be pertinent to a number of people in the room. So at this point, we're open to public comment.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, I am Jonathan Czars, and I'm a 9th grader at Hickman High School. I am currently enrolled in German 2 and plan to take German 3 next year. We are the Global Languages Organization, and we learned about the plan to take out German and Japanese out of Columbia Public Schools about 3 weeks ago. Our Facebook group has over 700 members, and multiple petitions over our high schools have raised over 500 signatures. Our goal is that Columbia Public Schools will effectively sustain and support German and Japanese classes. For all those who agree, please stand.
Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Aaron Hill, and I am a freshman at Rockbridge High School. The purpose of learning a language is to be able to use that language later on in life. And a study conducted by John F. Kilstrom, professor of psychology at the University of California, Berkeley, said that students who are interested in the material they are learning will have better long-term cognition and memory of what they learned, which makes sense. If a person is interested in what they are learning, they probably want to know what they're learning and are more likely to think that it's something they should remember. And many of the students, including myself in German and Japanese, we acknowledge that these are not easy languages to learn, but we believe that we should keep them because they are languages that we enjoy and want to learn. We are passionate about them. And even with the small classes, the people within these classes are very passionate, they're very caring, and they're willing to put in the effort required to learn these languages. To just simply cut the languages would be to ignore this factor, and many of these students would not simply have the same passion in other language courses. Thank you.
My name is Audrey Mueller. I am a freshman at Rockbridge High School. I am currently taking German 4, and I'm enrolled in Japanese 1 for next year. When I heard about the planned loss of the programs, I was alarmed that German 2, 3, and 4 are to be combined in the 2017 to 2018 school year in one classroom. As a student in German 4, which is currently shared in the same classroom with German 3, I can testify to the fact that this is an ineffective system. Our teacher is unable to simultaneously provide 2 classes with a full amount of instruction. I hear complaints about this from students every day. It is difficult to imagine learning in a classroom with 3 class levels. That being said, I would like to discuss the statistics which support the continuation of German and Japanese. So the world is becoming increasingly globalized, and communicating on an international level is critical in many fields. But despite this, only approximately 11% of American adults report being fluent in a language other than English, and of these, only 7% acquire this ability in school. And this statistic is not being improved by removing languages. Germany is the second largest export country after China, and Japan has the 3rd largest national economy, and Germany the 4th largest. Both countries are members of the G7 group along with the United States, which meets annually to discuss various matters of international importance. The size of these countries' economies and their G7 status together demonstrate the global influence of Germany and Japan. And not only does a German speaker receive an average lifetime earning bonus of $128,000, compared with $77,000 for French and $51,000 for Spanish, but Germany provides the most aid for international students of any other country in the world. In a district such as Columbia Public Schools, we should be broadening our students' opportunities to experience other countries rather than decreasing them. I hope you will rethink your decision. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, thank you for your time. My name is Wolfgang Shaffer, and I am here today in protest of the decision to phase out the German and Japanese language programs. I know I speak for myself and my fellow German and Japanese students when I say this. This decision is wrong for students. I would like to read a few quotes from current German students on the issue of combined classes. A multi-level class would hinder my ability to advance my German, as the teacher will be unable to devote as much time to my specific level and to me as a student. German has been one of my favorite classes throughout my entire high school career, but it also helped me understand English better than any of my English classes. I have tried other languages and cannot find the same interest and passion that I have found in German. I sincerely hope that German can stay in school so that students like me can find the language that interests their passions and helps their heart. I have a typed copy of this student survey for each of you, should you be interested. Ladies and gentlemen, not only would this classwork be difficult, but the decision to phase out the language itself is a mistake. I offer the point that in Germany, regardless of nationality, a fluent German speaker receives a free college education. A free college education. Now, currently in CPS, learning German is free. You can take 4 years, costs you $0. You want to know how much a college education costs? Well, I think you all know. Robbing future students of this opportunity is misguided and premature. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to say that when I describe Columbia Public Schools to my friends and relatives outside of this community, I can compare it to any private school. Its number of languages and its dedication of staff and students is unparalleled. But removing languages works in the exact opposite way of this reputation. Ladies and gentlemen, our district's mission statement is to be a valuable asset for our community by preparing our children so that they will be competitive in an ever-changing, unpredictable world. I ask that you stand by that statement and make the right decision for the future of us, the students. Thank you for listening. If you have any other questions about a student's point of view on this issue, I or any of the German and Japanese students sitting behind me would be happy to answer them.
Wolf, can we have your survey? You have a copy of the survey? Yes, I do. I'll hand it to the board.
Would you like?
I'll give it to the board if that's all right. Thank you very much.
So I have prepared this in the way of preparing it for sending it as a letter, but whenever I found out I could talk in front of the board and actually read my letter to you, I decided that would be much better. This is a speech regarding the phasing out of the German and Japanese programs, and this is a very large compilation of reasons why the phasing out of the Japanese and German classes greatly concerns me. I shall start with my first reason for Japanese and why I am alarmed by this. This one affects me personally. For many years, I've been really fascinated by the country of Japan, which actually for a project I did a paper on, and I've always loved, since then I've loved being in the prospects of being able to see this wonderful country. And for my life goal, I plan on opening a pastry shop in Japan, and for that I need to be taking Japanese. And even if I were not actually to live there, I think if I traveled there, it might be nice to be able to actually speak the language. Another reason that doesn't affect just me, with the growing concerns of whether war will break out in North Korea, Japan might end up being quite a helpful country to be allies with, being their geographical proximity. I shall also add that the Sea of Japan may prove extremely important for tactics, and the government needs to be able to communicate with the Japanese people. So if we do not, they can use interpreters, but if we're not teaching Japanese, who's going to interpret? It is also a very, very pressing language to learn in the business world, being that it's very important, being that Japan is a very large importer and exporter of international products. And German, this one is close to my brother as is to many people, but I think it's really important because it's a very important language to the automotive and engineering world. And so the people who are taking these classes might think if they pursued a career, it would be helpful to know the language, and you should be able to offer it to those who want to learn it in those classes and those who are not. So also, if you don't teach these languages, students may end up not getting to experience these cultures as much that are really fascinating and honestly two good cultures to learn about. And so as I leave you, I hope that I have at least a little bit influenced your decision on phasing out these languages. And sincerely and honestly yours, Aiden Madison.
Hello, my name is Crystal Odor, and I am a freshman at Rockbridge, and I'm currently taking Japanese 1 and French 3. So, the phasing out of the Japanese and German programs is very concerning, considering the fact that I can't speak for German, but I know that many kids love their classes, and Japanese class isn't just a class, it's a community. We're a small class, and everybody who is in Japanese is there because we want to learn. We're not just every student for themselves, and it's almost become a family. And it would be a shame to take that opportunity from other kids. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, although from a purely economical standpoint, cutting German and Japanese does result in some financial earnings, the losses are much, much greater. Furthermore, there are plenty of ways to save money and still keep these compulsory classes for students. The first point I would like to make is that the PTA could be a wonderful solution to this melancholy situation, as they can conduct fundraisers to augment money, which could then subsidize these classes. Furthermore, these classes could possibly consolidate it into one centralized area, such as the Columbia Area Career Center. This would both curtail the funding necessary to conduct these classes in multiple locations, and would also provide students with more classmates to interact with. Lastly, there are foundations such as the Japan Foundation, which offers grants to teachers, institutions, and students. There are many grants such as these. Around the world, and if we utilize them, we could not only make classes better for students, but for teachers as well. While there are many solutions to address this problem, this is one that we have developed. You can consider this along with other plans you may make. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alistair. I am a freshman at Rockbridge High School. For my entire life, I have attended public schools, and I have been very interested in German and Japanese. They were my two candidates for the language I wanted to choose. But I think it's an amazing opportunity that I was able to even have this option. My family does not have the financial supports for me to be able to take a private tutor or take any other kind of classes like this anywhere else. And to have it in public schools, in a place where I have to go every day, is an amazing opportunity for me and so many others like me. And I have a friend, his name is Levante Bressler, and he was unable to attend this, but he wants to be a translator, and I know he's extremely passionate, and we are in the same boat where we don't have the same kind of financial support to take these classes in these languages that we really want. And so I hope that children like me and students like me are able to take these classes in the future and don't have to be held back because of their financial standings. And I would really appreciate it if you would, I don't know, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Eric Fritchie. I have relatives that speak very little English. The only languages that they speak are German and Spanish, which has hardly been used in years. But this drove me to learn German, my family's language. But removing this would make me unable to follow my dreams of connecting with my family and their traditions and cultures. I lost this going into middle school, but if high school, the first opportunities for kids to really discover who and what they are, loses a part of people, of what people want to be, then these people may never learn what they want, only what is built into their civics curriculums. Thank you.
Thank you.
When you come forward, please remember to give us your name prior to your comment, if there are others.
Guten Abend, meine Damen und Herren. I'm not here to talk about language in school. My name is Jim Bryan. I'm a retired United Methodist pastor. I entered the Columbia Public School System in 1957. Jeff Junior High School. I graduated in 1963 from Hickman High School. My sophomore civics professor was a skinny crew-cut kid named Ritter or something, James.
We've heard about him.
Heard of that? I'm here with Columbia Faith Voices, and in which I'm active, and I'm a board member of the statewide Missouri Faith Voices, and I'm here to speak for the children of our immigrant friends and neighbors. I was privileged to accompany a young woman from another country who's seeking asylum in this country with her son to St. Louis for a check-in. It was interesting to learn about her life and where she come from. Where she has come from. I spent 6 years in a mission in Guatemala, so I know where these people have come from. I know they're desperate. I know the situations. They come here, they're afraid, especially the political milieu we have today, just fear. So I just want to speak on their behalf that this is my community. I'm a supporter of public schools. I'm a supporter of public education. I want these children to be safe. I want them to be treated with fairness and justice in every way. I want them to be included. I want them to be welcomed. And as an immigrant parent, I can't imagine sending your child off to school just not knowing if you're ever going to see them again, or knowing that they're going to receive some kind of difficult treatment. I want to just speak on their behalf, and I hope the board will enact and create a strong policy that will protect these kids and keep them safe. They're in our care. They deserve an education like the rest of us, and so I hope that we can support them. Dankeschön.
Good evening. I'm Vicki Boyd Kennedy, and I am here on behalf of the board of Central Latino and as a volunteer with their English class in which Central Latino hosts. And I've been a board member for over 5 years and a volunteer for over 8 years with the English class. And because of my involvement with Central Latino and that English class, I've come to know many immigrants, and I've known them well enough that they share their joys, their concerns, and especially now they're sharing their anxieties with me. And among the adult students in our English class, there is fear. They do wonder, what if Immigration and Customs Enforcement comes to Columbia? What is going to happen? In early January, we had 14 students attending, 14 adults coming to our class. But once the travel ban was announced, that number just dropped off. And we have had 4 to 5 adults continue to come. But that original group, though, we believe is out of fear. They have stopped attending because they are not taking any chances to drive anywhere except work. And even our adult learners who are here with documentation feel nervous. One of our friends reported that he went to the doctor because he's having anxiety attacks. He's not able to sleep and he's having difficulty performing his job. And so given this level of fear in our community, it's really not enough to expect someone to be able to look up on the website or figure out who to contact to determine a policy of the board. I have a master's degree. I've been in higher education for over 20 years. And I believe I'm familiar with technology, maybe not as much as I could be. But yet I have difficulty when I want to find someone in Columbia Public Schools. When I want to find the appropriate staff member, I have difficulty navigating a website and finding that person. So what I wonder is, how can we ask a person with limited English proficiency to find, and limited information, to find those people that they need to, the person they need to talk to, and make contact with that staff member. And furthermore, it's not difficult to understand why someone from another culture, an immigrant in our community, might be afraid to contact this unknown administrator who is in a position of power. Just the other day, I was working with one of my good friends, and she got her debit card in the mail, and we needed to, activate it. Well, there was a problem. Either her phone number doesn't match or something isn't matching up. And so I said, well, I can contact the bank. Oh, no. So I want you all to understand that there's fear that permeates the lives of people that I consider my friends and members of our community. They're immigrants. So I would like to...
Your 3 minutes is up, if you can wrap up, please.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Aaron Sapp, and I have a son who's going to be entering Rockbridge High School as a freshman next year. Perhaps the only testimony on the issue of languages that is needed this evening has been the caliber of testimony given by the students who I think have represented themselves in an amazing way, and I think speaks to the caliber of students that the German and Japanese classes draw to itself. And so we, if we in the future choose to abandon those course loads, we will be abandoning some of the most gifted students that we have in our system. When we went to Rockbridge's, I don't remember what they called it, it was like a little fair where you could visit with different teachers and find out what the different classes were like with my son. He went in there with a list of 4 languages that he was considering. And after stopping at all of the stations, he decided that he was going to embark on the study of Japanese. And what made the difference for him was the passion of the teacher.
I didn't look at that.
And I think that that will be something that will be lost to our students. When you encounter a teacher who cares not just that the students learn the material, but that they become passionate about the subject, that they embrace it, they love it, that is a teacher that you need to spend time with regardless of what they're teaching, because they will make you a better student and they will inspire you to greater things. and we will lose that if we lose these programs.
Good evening. My name is Douglas Hill. I'm also speaking on behalf of the German and Japanese students. I actually had no intent of doing that until one thing that I heard mentioned early on was that we will have the opportunity for German class to be offered as an online course. And that being a benefit as it is, I can attest to the fact that there are many kids, and my kids would fall into this category, who have had online classes who do not succeed in that type of a class. And so, though it's a positive for many reasons, I would just ask you to consider, especially when it comes to a language, that people need to interact with somebody who does have the skills so that they can learn those skills and promote themselves further. And I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Grace Wildenhouse. I'm Alex Bingling. We decided to come up together. We're both here on behalf of Refugee and Immigration Services, so we decided to condense our time. So we're a local refugee resettlement office that also offers immigration services, and I'm responsible for enrolling all refugee children K through 12 in school when they first arrive here to the U.S. And unfortunately, our agency is only funded to enroll refugee children in school, and after that, we don't have very much programming for children. So one of the biggest barriers is with refugee families who don't speak English, communicating to the parents and their families what's going on at school with their children. We get a lot of calls from teachers, and I get a lot of emails asking for help. Can you explain this to the family? Can you let the family know that this is happening, the child's going on a field trip, whatever it may be. And we really wish that there was a more streamlined way for teachers to access translation services, which I know are available with Columbia Public Schools. And with it being difficult for our refugee population or immigrant population who are here legally, I wonder what it's like for undocumented families to access those same resources and information on their children. And so we just want to support the undocumented population and all refugee and immigrant children at Columbia Public Schools, and hope that teachers can get more training on how to work with these families.
Yeah, most of our clients don't speak English, so the parents have a really hard time communicating in English to school providers. Most refugees are women and children, so a lot of the refugees are in your schools, and they're currently not being supported as they should be. Yeah, and I just wanted to say that, I forget. Yeah, the refugees, they're here legally. And so they're legally authorized to be here. They're accessing services through our agency. And so I do want to emphasize that this support needs to be provided to undocumented families as well who don't have the same access to English services.
Thank you.
Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, my name is Michael Veerling, and I'm a graduate. I'm a teaching assistant and graduate student at Mizzou. Today I'm speaking as an advocate for my colleagues, fellow graduate students, and my students who are immigrants. I don't think that there is any doubt that the current political climate is hostile to immigrants and refugees. I know through conversations with my colleagues that this hostile climate is harmful to the children in Columbia Public Schools as a source of anxiety. As an educator, I know that the atmosphere in a classroom is imperative to the quality and productivity of these students' learning. I believe that a clear resolution protecting these students will help combat these fears. and I hope that such a resolution will be passed. Thank you.
Is there any additional public comment?
Hello, members of the board. My name is Hannah Krugman, and I graduated from Rockbridge High School in 2014, and I am currently in my junior year of undergrad at the University of Missouri. I am majoring in health sciences with a minor in business. And I first moved to Columbia my junior year of high school, and I was blown away by the opportunities that Rockbridge could offer me. I had never really been passionate about a class before until I was enrolled in my first Japanese course. Now, I know that a lot of people think, well, maybe it's not the best language to learn, or maybe it's too hard, but I had never felt more passion in a course than I had in my Japanese class. Now, a lot of you are concerned about, it's not just the students that are in high school, but you're concerned about, well, how will they do in college? How will they do in the real world? We're thinking bigger picture. And I will tell you that I was in volleyball at Rockbridge, I was in the band, I was in AP courses, and none of those have got me to where I am today. I am now a part-timer at a growing pharmacy business, and it's because somebody looked down at my resume and saw my Japanese experience. So I would like you to think over again, please, that those experiences aren't just for, immigrants coming in. They're not just held to the high school. I was able to take Japanese 1 and 2 at high school because I moved here late. I took it at Mizzou as well because it was offered, and now I'm even enrolled in sign language. And these courses are what brought me to where I am today, and these courses are going to bring me through so that I have more opportunities. This pharmacy business I'm in, it's not just, well, you're at the bottom level now. This is the kind of thing that's going to get me a job. I'm going to be a possible CEO. I'm going to be these things because I was taken under by Rockbridge and I was able to take those Japanese courses. Thank you very much.
Going once. Are there any additional comments? One more, all right.
Good evening. My name is Jasper Mace. I'm a sophomore at Hickman High School, and I'm currently enrolled in Japanese 2. It's really, really frustrating, to say the least, to hear about the phasing out of both German and Japanese. And honestly, I've spoken with some of the German students, and they seem so passionate about the language. And just knowing from what I see in my Japanese class, they're some of the most dedicated, hardworking people that you'll ever meet. And just having that opportunity taken away from them is, again, frustrating. Thank you.
Any last comments? We want to make sure everybody gets a chance. Great. I do appreciate having everybody's voices. It's particularly moving to hear students speaking and taking the opportunity to share their voices and perspectives. So thanks to all of you. Thanks to all of our public comments. I love the German flag over here too. So yeah.
And what's
Can I ask what that sign says?
Yeah, me too. What's
Yeah,
the Japanese sign say?
This one? It says, please do not cut German Japanese. Do you want to say it? I trust you. Okay.
It says, ドイツ語と日本語をなくさないで。Yes, thank you. It's a team effort.
Thank you all. I appreciate it.